President will address in the beginning, and then we have the entire executive who will brief about the Leader Summit to CSW. So without further ado, I would like to request our President, Diana Barragan, to please give us a warm welcome to everyone. Diana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nelima. I say good morning and welcome all to this important webinar you have organized to prepare for the Leader Summit and to CSW. I am sorry, but I've been rushing around, but I didn't want to miss this. For me, it's truly inspiring to see so many dedicated women from around the world coming together and unite with our shared commitments to advancing gender equality and empowering women in business, professions, and leadership. The Leader Summit and CSW are not just events. As you know, they are platforms for action, collaboration, and meaningful change. BPW International is an organization that has a strong voice, and it is our responsibility to use it to shape policies, influence decision makers, and advocate for a more inclusive and equitable world. Let us seize this opportunity to share knowledge, strengthen our networks, and reinforce our impact at the global level. Your participation, insights, and leadership are essential in driving forward our mission. Thank you, my sisters, for being here today. And I look forward to an engaging and productive discussion. Together, we innovate, empower, and transform. Let's get started. Thank you, Nelima.
Thank you so much, Diana. And with this, I would like to request our young BPW International representative, Isadora, to, the next slide, please, to read out the collect, please.
Thank you, Nelima. Hello, everyone. Let's read our collect. Keep us, O God, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought, in word, in deed. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face, without self-pity and without prejudice. May we never be hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us to grow calm, serene, and gentle. Teach us to put into action our better impulses, straightforward and unafraid. Grant that we may realize that it is the little things that create differences, that in the big things of life we are at one. And may we strive to touch and to know the great common human heart of us all. And O Lord God, let us forget not to be kind.
Thank you so much, Isadora. And the next discussion that we are about to have is from our past international president, Dr. Yashmin, to give us insight on the Leader Summit and Clara Fischer's reception. And then this is something that we will be speaking in the beginning on the details, but we have a section in the end where there's an open session. And I would request if you have any, any information that you don't get from our presentation to write it down so we can address in the end. So Dr. Yashmin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good day to everybody. Can I have, do you have the option to share? Who is managing the Zoom? Jovan?
Yes.
Who is managing the Zoom?
Working.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's see. Now, can I share? Yes. I have too many. Can you see the presentation? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this This time, this year, the Leader Summit will be very, very, very special. President Diana tried to change a little bit the process in order that the members can learn a little bit more about not only about BPW, but about all our initiatives, and also to have important speakers with us during this event. Of course, that the executive members will have a time to share, more time than in the past, because it was decided that usually we have a coffee breaks for half an hour. So we match the half an hour of coffee break with time to have get together. So it's like more than 45 minutes in each coffee break with in different, you will see here in the program. I don't know how can I, no, yeah. So you can see here, the first day we will start early because it's the time for registration, and I recommend all of you that bring with you the payment receipt so we don't have any trouble. I think almost 100% of the registrants, we already check the payment, but anyway, try to bring your payment receipt. And from 8 to 9 is the registration, and we will have a welcome coffee. Please notice that it is not a breakfast, it's welcome coffee. Some muffins or croissants and coffee. So if you want breakfast, try to take it before you arrive. So it's now the presenters will be past International President Liz Benham and past Regional Coordinator North America and the Caribbean, Don Williams. She will welcome and explain the objectives of the program and to have comments about the program, and 9:15 the introduction of the executive, the president office, support, and participants. Each of you, the registrants, will have time to say your name, your country, not your CV, please. Only because we have a lot of people this year. So if you take more than 1 minute, can you imagine we will take 2 hours maybe. So only your name, your country, your profession, and your position in BPW. At 9:45, highlighting the triennium goals of IFBPW with President Diana, and talking about her theme for this year: inspire, innovate, empower, transform. Together we shape a sustainable future. Then we have a coffee break at 10:15. This is very short coffee break because, well, at 9 we finished the first coffee break. I don't think that you need more coffee, but it's 15. Just take your coffee and something and back to your seat. And 10:30 is with past International President Liz Benham, talking about dynamic global organization, ethically leading women in business and the profession through a changing world. Then we will have a very, very important conference with the past president of Congo. And this organization is the one who have all the NGOs around the world And this time, the President Levy just sent us a letter that he will be not able to attend, but Mr. Cyril Richie, which is the one with we work for many years as the president of Congo, he already confirmed that he will be there. So this is a very important conference at 11:45. United Nations and UN opportunities for members, the importance of advocacy cooperation is the presentation of the UN reps and is led by Vice President UN Lima. Then we have the lunch, 1 hour for the lunch, delicious lunch in the Harmony. Then we will back and listen Dawn Williams with her conference Transcendent Leadership, and 1:45 membership development retention is the membership statistics tools, organizational growth via new clubs, support of new clubs, membership development and retention, system and process, engagement of members, make meetings matter. It's matter is missing there. So it's Vice President Membership Francesca Burak from New York. And then 2:15 is the compliance of affiliate governance update systems and process is Executive Secretary Caroline Savage. What President Diana tried in this time is that it's not executive reports, is what is the meaning of the position of each one of the executive members. So the reports you can read everywhere, and maybe for next year you will have the year report of each of them, but that this year it's more important that the members find out what is useful from each position. So 2:45, IFBPW and affiliate finances, fees and payments, sponsors, fundraisings, legacies, friends and fellows, by the Executive Finance Officer, Gudrun. And 3:15 is the coffee break and photo session. So it's time to have these working groups with the Vice President Francesca and the executives, and around 10 minutes just for the photo session. So bring your makeup for the photo. 4:30, the Pride of Belonging, past International President Sylvia Perry through a video will talk with us about the Pride of Belonging. We will give it to you some points during all the also during all the Leader Summit about it. At 5 is wrap up an evaluation, verbal and writing led by Dawn Williams and Liz Benham. 5:30 closing remarks, President Diana, and 5:45 dinner on your own or by region. As you know, some of the regions are making plans to have a dinner together with their regional coordinators. And in March 8th, of course, Happy Women's Day. And again at 8, we will start early, half an hour early. It's the welcome coffee, 8:30, welcome remarks and recap of day 1 by Liz Benham and Dawn Williams. 8:40, Young BPW, the dynamic of mentoring and inclusion is Young BPW Representative Isadora. 9:10, the value of Congress and regions in EIVPW and why they matter, Dawn Williams. 9:40 BPW regions, best practice with the regional coordinators, and 10:10 coffee break and working groups. Goals, growth, compliance, training that will be, as I told you, you take your coffee and back to your table or with the group that you want to work with, and leading by the regional coordinators and Don Williams. At 11 is the BPW core initiatives, Equal Pay Day, BPW WEBs that will be a member, regional coordinator of BPW Canada, Karin. Project 5.0, we are still hoping that Susan Jones can make it. And a very important conference or presentation about the ITC, trade, with the one of the leaders in ITC in New York, Michelle Lau work. So this is a very important conference because looks like we lost the engagement with them, and is one of the partners that we have more benefits for our members. 11:30 legality versus legitimacy in IFBPW is President Diana and Liz Benham as a Constitution Advisory Committee chair. Then we have the lunch, 1 hour lunch. Then meaningful collaboration, communication, teamwork, responsibilities, succession planning by Liz Benham. Then working groups, goals, growth, compliance, training with all the executives, with different groups. Whatever you want to talk about UN, you sit with Nelima. If you want to know more about membership, you go and sit with Vice President Francesca or the Executive Secretary if you want to know more about Constitution or rules. So we will have this half an hour. 250 Business in the New Technology World by Larissa Miller. And at 3 p.m. is BPW Visibility inspired by the Young Perspective is young BPW members. We talked with Isadora and she agreed to make this presentation with some of the young BPW members. And at 3:30 coffee break, and the time is a time to meet with the standing committee chairs, that some of them will be there. At 4 is the working groups, final outcomes and action plans, led by Don Williams. And 4:45 is summary, pictures of the summit by President Office. 5, closing remarks. 5:15, distribution of certificates by the President and the executives. 5:45, evaluation in writing, and at 6 is the end, the closer. So then in the same place at the Harmony in the 4th floor, we will have the Claire Pulcher reception. It's a reception, it's not a dinner, it's a reception. You will have food, but not like 4 courses dinner or formal dinner. Is with food. I think it's 1 or 2 hours of drinks. Too much, but you will have drinks and food, and we will do candle lighting ceremony. And at 8:30, you can be free to enjoy New York or to rest for the next day. So as Nelima, Vice President Nelima says at the end, if you have more questions, I think I took more than the 10 minutes, no? Yes? I don't know.
Okay, thank you
Yes?
so. No, it's okay.
Everybody have the address? I don't know if everybody have the address. No? Okay. Well, at the end, if you have more questions, I will be here. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yashmin. And I think we need to move forward with CSW. We have our entire executive and Siobhan, who is BPW regional, who the UN representative for Asia Pacific. And she will start. And then we have Carolyn, Corinne, Isadora, Susan O'Malley, and Francesca, who will explain on the topic that they are good at. So this is Siobhan now. Siobhan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nelima. Are people able to hear me okay? Yes, great, thank you. In a very early morning in New Zealand, it's like 2-something AM, but really delighted to see everyone and to be part of planning for this fantastic event in New York. I'm really excited to talk through what is CSW in a bit of the history, because it's actually a really interesting story about how it came about. CSW, the Commission on the Status of Women, has been the main international platform for governments to discuss women's empowerment since 1946. Each year, the Commission comes together for a 2-week session at the UN headquarters in New York. Women called for the existence of CSW and shaped the activities and approach of the Commission. So we're going to wind back the clock and learn about how it came about. During the inaugural meetings of the UN General Assembly in London in February 1946, Eleanor Roosevelt asked for more action for women. A few days later, a subcommission dedicated to the status of women was established under the Commission on Human Rights. In May 1946, the chairperson of the subcommission, Bodil Bigtrup of Denmark, requested the Economic and Social Council change the subcommission to full commission. Sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. And within a month, the subcommission was made a full commission called the Commission on the Status of Women. A fully fledged commission dedicated to assuring women's equality and to promoting women's rights. The commission first met at Lake Success, New York in February 1947. At that session, all of the 15 government representatives were women. This gave the commission the unique character it was going to maintain throughout its history by gathering a majority of women delegates. In 1972, to mark its 25th anniversary, the Commission recommended that 1975 be designated International Women's Year. CSW called for the organisation of an international conference to coincide with International Women's Year. That was approved, and that was the first Women's World Conference held in Mexico City in 1975. 133 governments participated at the conference. 6,000 representatives of NGOs attended a parallel forum, which at that stage was called the International Women's Year Tribune. And a follow-up from that, a recommendation from that World Conference, the UN declared 1976 to 1985 the decade for women, equality, development, and peace. The World Conferences on Women was a series of UN conferences that promote gender equality and women's rights. The goals of the conferences were to improve the status of women worldwide, remove obstacles to women's participation in all spheres of life, to achieve gender equality in law and practice, promote women's human rights. The outcomes of the conferences, the Beijing Declaration Platform for Action, sets out an agenda for change in 12 critical areas. The introduction of the term gender mainstreaming and the consolidation of 5 years of legal advances. What was the significance of the Beijing conference? It was one of the largest meetings to promote women's rights ever held. It's considered the key global policy document on gender equality. It's an agenda for change that is still relevant today. In 1996, ECOSOC expanded the Commission's mandate and decided it would take a leading role in monitoring and reviewing progress and problems in the implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform. And so they decided to also mainstream a gender perspective in UN activities. So every year in March, representatives of member states gather at the UN headquarters in New York to evaluate progress on gender equality, identify challenges, set global standards, and formulate concrete policies to promote gender equality and women's empowerment worldwide. During the Commission's annual 2-week session, representatives of UN member states, civil society organisations, and UN entities gather at the UN headquarters in New York. The Commission consists of 45 members with a geographic distribution by population, 12 members from Africa, 11 from Asia, 9 from Latin America and the Caribbean, 8 from Western Europe and other states, and 4 from Eastern Europe. Members are elected for a period of 4 years. As we hear, ECOSOC refines the Commission's mandate from time to time. For example, the Sustainable Development Goals were launched in September 2015. In a 2026 ECOSOC resolution, CSW was mandated to oversee the implementation of SDG Agenda 2030 as it pertains to women and girls. Alongside the UN CSW in New York, NGOs have been influential in shaping the current global policy framework on women's empowerment and gender equality. NGOs continue to play an important role in holding international and national leaders accountable for the commitments they made in the Platform for Action and subsequently. The NGO Committee on the Status of Women, NGO CSW New York, is a coalition of civil society organisations and individuals advocating for gender equality and the rights and empowerment of women and girls in all their diversity. They are the convener of global civil society for each annual CSW and run the Civil Society Forum. In terms of engagement and information opportunities about CSW and the work of civil societies, NGO CSW do an amazing job with monthly online sessions that anyone can attend and specific briefings in the lead up to CSW, including on parallel events and advocacy. These sessions are recorded and available on the YouTube channel, and you can check out their website. That covers off a little bit about the background at CSW. We're going to hand over to some of our other fantastic members and sisters to hear more about CSW69. Carolyn, are you able to unmute and comment kindly on the BPW statement to ECOSOC?
Okay, thank you. And good morning, a very early good morning. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of the importance of our statement and some of how that feeds into the work you're going to do. No PowerPoint presentation because I've just driven over 1,000 kilometres in the last 2 days. So now we'll start. Our statement is really important, and you'll see in that first paragraph, it aligns with what is entitled for the theme this year, Women 2000, Gender Equality, Development and Peace for the 21st Century. To give you some background, having consultative status since 1947, BPW International with NGOs around the world who have consultative status are invited to put forward one statement per organisation to the Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. We are also encouraged to submit joint statements with other NGOs who have consultative status and they align with what we've been submitting at this time. So there might be one group we work with 1 year, there might be another NGO we work with another year. It has a particular structure. They have maximum 2,000 words, they must use the template and have to identify what the key messages we're advocating for. And it must be easy to read. And please read this document. It's not long, but you need to be informed when you go to CSW. So BPW International Statement includes challenges that hinder the implementation of the Beijing Platform for Action for the achievement of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls in alignment with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It discussed women and armed conflict, which remain at the forefront of BPW's work at UNESCO, violence against women, education and training for women in the digital and A1 sectors, women in leadership, women in poverty and the backlash against their rights, women and the economy, women and the environment, women and the media. Now, why I'm telling you this is there's so many areas that BPW International is advocating for the rights of women in different areas. So this is your opportunity to do your research. Sorry, there's a cat that's decided to join me. In fact, you don't have to know everything, but what you do need to know is something that you believe in, you want to work for under this statement and get your data, do your research so you're credible when you have discussions, and I'll explain that shortly. So we've talked about human rights of women to ensure full and equal enjoyment of fundamental freedom. Women in health must include children, youth, and aging population. Rights of the child. Mechanisms for the advancement of women facilities. And this was endorsed by the Widows for Peace Through Democracy. So you can see the statement was written, it's very clear, you have the opportunity to use this. These are the key items that BPW International has put forward. NGOs putting forward their oral submissions, only some NGOs can actually have the opportunity to put an oral submission through, but there's only a limited number and we cannot always guarantee to have that opportunity. Why is it important? This is what you can speak to your ministers about. You pick one or more of the key statements. You use this to actively lobby when you get to speak to other countries while you're in CSW. It can be at the side events. You can engage in the discussions. You might have the opportunity to ask a question, or at the parallel events. Again, you might have an opportunity. But if you don't get to speak to the speakers or ask a question in that space, you get to network with others in the room with the like-minded ideas. Excuse me. You need to know the CSW agenda, build relationships with relevant government delegates, and the importance of a parallel and side events, engage with other NGOs, and actively participate in official meetings. If you go into a meeting, listen to what's been said, understand and identify the people you want to speak with. Now, there's a trick, and hope I haven't remembered it this morning, but my brain's not quite there. But it's called the 5-finger rule, and we'll make sure we send that through to you so you all understand. Do your research, collect credible data, because when you're standing there talking about the item that you are wanting to actively advocate and lobby on from our statement, you need to have your data. Attend NGO briefings must, and I know Nalima will speak on that, but every day there will be a briefing of what's happening behind the scenes at the UN. And attend the caucus meetings. So every region will have a caucus meeting. You will be told about this. Go to those. Again, this is your opportunity to advocate for what BPW is working strongly for. And that is around the economic and environment and the empowerment of all women and girls around the world. So thank you. This is very quick. Hope, Nalima, I've got it within the time frame. And yes, it's 2:53 a.m. and I've had only 1 hour's sleep and probably about 5 hours sleep in the last 24. So thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Carolyn. I think now next we have Kareem.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I look forward to seeing you very soon. So I'm just going to chat a bit about what CSW, the most important thing is CSW, which is the zero draft. But what's important about CSW this year, and it's a different year than other years, it's the 30th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women and Adoption of the Beijing Declaration, which was in 1995, the Platform for Action. It's 10 years of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal, for the Sustainable Development and its Sustainable Development Goals. All member states are called on to undertake a national review of progress and challenges to implement the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. And it's an opportunity to strengthen gender responsive action and implementation of the 2030 agenda and to accelerate the gender equality and empowerment for all women and girls. There's a lot of talk about, when we're talking about CSW, the easiest thing to think about, because there's a lot of components, is looking at it into 3 silos. We have the main session. That's where in the big hall in the UN building, the General Assembly, the member states all sit below. We're able to sit above and observe. Because we're delegates, we don't get to speak. It's just the member states that will be doing the speaking. And sometimes there may be a ticket involved. Sometimes the first day is very busy and there may be limited people that might be allowed in the hall. Then there are the side events. So the side events and the parallel events. Side events happen inside the UN. Side events happen inside the UN building normally, or they could happen in the missions of some of the countries that are putting on the side events. I'll show you in a little bit where you go to find out about those side events and where they are, and the information is on the website. Some you have to register, some not. Some of the rooms inside the UN are not huge, so it's a first come, it could be a first come, first serve basis. So if there's something you really want to attend, you're going to want to. Could somebody mute? Could everybody be muted, please? There's some background noise. Thank you very much. So if there's something you want to attend, I encourage you to get in there early so you can get a seat. And then the parallel events that happen outside of the UN building, most of them are across the street at the church center, but they're happening parallel to CSW. So the participating NGOs are usually hosting those, and there'll be talk about those in a little bit. And some require, again, registration. There's in-person and virtual, probably about 700 of them over the 2 weeks. So lots of opportunities, even if you're not staying the whole 2 weeks, which probably many of us aren't. You can, when you go home, there's still virtual ones you can attend. So you may hear the word, the agreed conclusions or zero draft document. What is that? That's what CSW is all about. The side events and the parallel events are opportunities to learn, to share, to become more aware of some of the issues that are there. But the zero draft is what happens. It starts, CSW normally starts with that zero draft documents. There's revisions through the discussions of the member states that happen where we don't see them happening, but the discussions and the negotiations go on during those 2 weeks. And then at the end, there's a final agreed conclusion document that are agreed to by the member states. And that's the tool that we can take to our governments to encourage them to do the work on what they agreed to during those 2 weeks. We need to keep them accountable for that. They signed it, and so we've got the year after CSW to push them to make those things happen. But those negotiations are closed to NGOs, so it's just a behind the scene thing that happens. And some people work into the wee hours of the night to make sure that the document includes everything. This year is a little different because it's a 5-year anniversary, and there's going to be 2 documents at the end, a political declaration and a multi-year program for CSW. But the zero draft, that these discussions, that's what CSW is ultimately all about. This is just an example. The one on the left is the agreed conclusion document from last year. It's about 27 pages. It started a lot less than that. And then this one here on the right is something that has come out this year, talking about the 30th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women. When you go to the website, and at the end of the presentation, there, or further on the presentation, the websites are there. But when you go onto the UN Women website and just Google CSW69 and it will come up, you will see on the screen a section here. There's a lot of information here, official meetings, documentation, and so on. So you can find that the side events are also there. And then national reports. So the countries have put forward reports. So if you go onto this page under official documents, you will see, you can have a look and see your country's report and what they say they've done. So it's really very interesting to see what's been going on. So on the side events page, you will see on my screen here, there's a click there to see the schedule of side events. And then it's got the schedule. As you scroll down, it will show them all to you. And as I said, it'll show you what room it's in. It'll give you the capacity. So you know if the capacity is 100, you want to get there early because there could be a high demand. So that's a great idea. Have a look at that. And what I would suggest too is if you have parallel events you want to attend, side events you want to attend, there's time, takes time to get inside the UN building. You have to go through security. Try to schedule it so that you're in the UN as long as possible, so you're not back and forth, because going through security could take some time. And if you're going to do parallel events, maybe you want a day to do that, another day you want to spend in doing side events. It's just a better use of time than going back and forth through security. The parallel events, as mentioned, are put on by the NGO CSW. It's important for you to go in and register, if you haven't already, into the site, because that gives you all the information of the events that are happening over the 2 weeks. If you go into the NGO site, the NGO CSW site, on the front page shows you registration is now open. This just registers you so that you can see on the HUVA site, which is my next screen, but that you can see all the events. It doesn't register you for any specific event. It registers you so you have access to the information. So when you click here, it's very easy to go through and register. Another place where you can go, if you click on the NGO CSW forum, it comes up NGO CSW or CSW69. That would take you here. And again, if you've already registered, then you can just sign in to access the portal, or you can register and get your code. And you can also have the app on your phone. So while you're traveling, that might be very handy for you. It can be a little tricky sometimes finding things, but if you play around with it, you'll find it and get a little bit more familiar with it. And it helps you schedule your day, because it's very important. I can't stress that enough, to schedule as much as you can for your day. Like I said, so you know whether you're going to be inside the UN, whether you're going to be across the street, if you're going to be up a few blocks at the Salvation Army. So this can really help you. So once you've signed in and got that, you're going to be able to see the page. When you click on agenda, the sessions comes up, and then you've got all of the sessions for each day. And you can see the full agenda, and then I'll show you the next screen how to have your agenda again, for planning. So you can keep track. Oh, did I plan this? I want to go to this side event, but I've got this at the same time. So it just helps you for a better use of your time. And so once you go to one of the events, there's a spot that says add to my agenda. And so when you do that, then when you click on here, my agenda, you can see each of the things that you have chosen that you want to attend. It doesn't register you for that event. Again, it's a first come, first serve situation, but it helps you plan. And when you're looking at these events for parallel events, when they're in the church center, just keep in mind there's only 2 elevators and there's a lot of people going in. So if a session's at 10:30, you might want to go a little bit early because the wait for the elevator might be extensive because people are coming down, getting out of an event that ended at 10:15 or something. So again, so you won't be frustrated and you can get a seat. So that's the just some tips that so thank you very much.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Isadora. I am Young BPW representative, and I will talk a little bit more about the physical and virtual parallel and side events that we're going to have. So first of all, for BPW International, we are hosting 2 events, which is one physical and one virtual, but the other ones that you see here on the screen, they are events, either side or parallel events that are thrown by other BPW, so BPW Canada, BPW Japan, BPW Taiwan, and so on. So we, as BPW women, we should really try and support our sisters, not only on the BPW international events, but also on the events that are thrown by our sisters around the world. So if you can, just add them to your agenda. Also for everyone who is throwing an event, make sure that you have your event registered at the HUVA site, like Karen was talking about. So it makes easier for all the members to add them to the agenda and to make sure that we have maximum participation. Siobhan, if you could. Okay, so how can you actually participate? So individual participation, an individual can participate by attending as an NGO delegate. So you can be with the member state delegation. You can also participate on behalf of a civil society with an ECOSOC status, which also provides a ground pass to enter the UN, but this is not, however, required. Also, you can attend by organizing or supporting a parallel or a side event, and also providing a voice to the government delegations. So, for example, we are going to have a side event this year that is thrown by BPW International with the mission of Malaysia. So that would be very nice if all of you could participate and support us as well. Could you, okay. So what are some of the key tips for the attendees? So the first one is for you to join the NGO CSW HUVA app to connect with the people and events like Karen was showing everyone. Also, you can let BPW know that you're attending and join the BPW WhatsApp group. So if you're not part of the WhatsApp groups that we already have for CSW69, please contact any of us who are presenting now so we can add you to the WhatsApp groups, because we have announcements, we have a group only for discussions. So it's very important that you all keep informed, and all the information is going to be there. Also, if you know someone who is not on the WhatsApp group, please let us know so we know who is actually attending and we can add them to the group as well. Also, let your government delegation know that you're attending. So if you have that kind of openness with your own government, please let them know that you're attending, that you're representing BPW. And also, if there is any way that we can collaborate, that would also be great. Work with your BPW or another civil society with ECOSOC status to register. So we have a bunch of members who are registered to go to CSW with ground passes, and we got ground passes with a partnership with other ECOSOC status to register our members. You can prepare your schedule and plan the sessions and events you want to attend in advance. Like Karen said, it's just a first come, first serve. So make sure that you have your events that you want to be part of ready on your agenda, and you know exactly where you need to be at the times that you want to be, because some of the rooms are small, some of in the cases of the church center, only the 2 elevators, so that might give you a little bit more time for you to be on the session. So make sure that you have your schedule planned ahead. Also, read the zero draft and prior session outcome documents. This is also very important, so you are aware of everything that is going on. You should also read the national, regional, and CSO reports. And just a key tip for everyone, check the weather forecast and pack accordingly. So we are talking about a time in New York City, which is a high of 10 degrees Celsius, low as 2 degrees Celsius, sometimes even 0 degrees or -2, which from what I saw. And please remember that we also have a possible rain forecast, and in New York, it's also very windy. So make sure that you're prepared for the weather, because you're going to be walking around quite a bit. And for BPW influencing change, BPW International, BPW federations and affiliates, and BPW members can support women's equality by, you can either submitting to their government on the zero draft, including and providing red lines and non-negotiables, drafting and circulating a shadow zero draft, engage with the NGO delegate with their government delegations as negotiations and meetings happen over the 2 weeks. This is also very important, especially if you're walking around the main building of the UN. Raising awareness by holding events and publicizing CSW and the outcome documents, and referencing the outcome document in other advocacy work. And finally, engaging in submitting on national and regional level reviews. And for you, here are some of the follow-up links for you to make sure that you're quite informed, well informed by everything. So there is the BPW International website with the UN part, the NGO CSW parallel events. You can just go on the conference Huva app, or just go straight to the website that it's right there on the screen. For UN side events, so you can also be prepared and know which side events you want to participate, you can just check the UN Women website. And for official meetings as well on the UN Women website. And finally, you can just go to the UN Web TV for live streams as well. I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Isadora. We are supposed to have Susan O'Malley, but she's not here. But there are a few information that we need to know about NGO CSW. Is the first NGO CSW chair was Istaheimer, who was a BPW member. And the last one who we had as a NGO CSW chair is Susan O'Malley. She will be present at the later summit, and also she will be around UN at that time. She is our BPW UN representative for UN New York. So she is the one who has all the information about how NGO CSW works. So we have this benefit that we have someone so much knowledgeable in BPW. So make sure that when you meet her, you can see in the photo here, it's a little blurred, but when you meet her, she will help you with whatever you want to know about. So we have to know that BPW has played a huge role in NGO CSW, because these are the information posted in the NGO CSW history, where BPW name was mentioned twice. So it means there is opportunity for our members to be NGO CSW chair in future. So that is one thing I have always tell everyone in BPW is, if you are passionate about it, just try to learn everything. So this is me explaining on behalf of Susan O'Malley, who is not here today, but we'll get to hear from her at our later summit. So I would next like to give the floor to Francesca. Francesca, please unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. I was trying to unmute and now I'm trying to get on my video. Hang on 1 second. Excuse this delay. Okay, I can't seem to. Can you stop sharing here? So I can also, okay, great. I don't know why I can't unview myself here. Let's just see. Okay, so you can start my video. Thank you. And can I share my screen? Hold on. I'm a little, it's not allowing me to share my screen. Hang on just a second, please. I haven't had enough
You
coffee.
should be able to share it now. Francesca, you should be able to share it now.
Okay, hang on, I'm trying. It's not letting me. I wonder why this is happening. Okay, I'm not, oh, I know why. Hang on 1 second, I think I have it solved. Yes, okay. Sorry about that. Here we go. First of all, thank you all for being here. Okay, you can all see my screen, correct? Yes, can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so welcome to New York. I'm so glad that you're all coming to New York, or at least showing up virtually for CSW. I have to change my photograph this year because we're way beyond the 89 plus. So I thought I'd spend my time telling you about New York City, what the expectations are. That's what I've been asked to do. So let me tell you, there will be massive crowds all over the streets of New York City. Everybody's warned you about showing up early for any event that you would like to attend. Safety on the street, you do not have to worry. You know, some people have mentioned ISIS and, you know, you have to be careful. And please, we're in New York City and the states of all of the governments are going to be here. You will have mass safety here with all kinds of police presence, the FBI, the terrorist units. There's nothing to be afraid of here. ISIS is not going to be running around collecting women who are attending CSW. Just make sure, as always, you are supposed to have ID on the streets. If you go into any corporate building, they will ask you for ID. Most of the venues like the Salvation Army and the Church Center, you're not asked for ID, but any place else you are. The opportunities here are great for networking, not just with IPW, not just with BPW International. By the way, at the United Nations, they do not know BPW International. So we are the International Federation of Business and Professional Women. That's our legal name. So if people look a little strange, they may not recognize BPW International, but we all say BPW International. Everybody's talked to you about the calendar. I want to emphasize some self-care. The first year that I went to CSW, I went to something every scheduled meeting time. And I have to tell you, I was so burnt out by the end of the first week. So please remember self-care, take breaks, you know, go for coffee with people that you meet. The main venues for CSW is the Church Center. When you walk in, you will see on the left-hand side, there's a big board and it has the agenda there of everything that's meeting at the particular times that they're meeting and the room location. The Salvation Army is another big venue. And there you just walk in, the auditorium is on the right. There's usually somebody at a desk there that will direct you to wherever you want to go. The third main event venue is at the Armenian Church, which is a little further away. It's down on East 64th Street. It's easy to get to. And that's usually where they have the artesian fair, which is, lots of people that have their products from their different countries. And it's really beautiful. And I've bought 2 rugs down there on 2 different occasions. I'm not sure, I saw a call for the fair this year, so you'll have to check it. But if you're going, and I highly recommend you do, unfortunately, they've moved it, so they don't get enough people down there for the amount of vendors that they have. And of course, the UN building and consulates also are meeting places that have side events. So plan accordingly. RC Karen gave you a great app. So the hotel, as we all know, our hotel is the Westgate on East 42nd Street, which is a quick walk to the UN building, the church center, Salvation Army, and the Armenian Church. Transportation in New York is really great. Your best mode of transportation will be the subway, because it'll get you wherever you want to go, east, west, north, south. 3 recommendations for restaurants that are true and blue, meaning that they are always good. These are personal. Never had a bad meal at any of them. There's the Bistro Vendôme, which is a French restaurant. By the way, I don't get any commissions for any of them. They're just really good. And when you're in a foreign place, it's sometimes hard to pick a really good restaurant. There's the Hotel Strand restaurant, which is down by the High Line. And then there's the Beach Cafe, which is an inexpensive restaurant in New York City for burgers and all kinds of food. It's up on 2nd and East 70th Street. So you have a variety of recommended places that you could go. If you need breakfast near the hotel, the Persian Square, I should have put it here, the Persian Square is right across the street from Grand Central. Their prices vary, but there's a lot of smaller places. On the next block from the hotel, there's a very small coffee place that has seating upstairs. If you don't know it, there is seating upstairs if you want to have a quick meeting someplace that has inexpensive coffee. There's all kinds of atriums around near the UN, coffee shops. Keats, I hope it's still open. This is a karaoke place. Starts at 4 to 7 is a happy hour, and then there's karaoke. And we had such a great time here a few nights that first week. So I will check to see if that's open, but I highly recommend that. So we have in-person, hybrid, Zoom only. You've already heard about all of that. So I want to really talk to you, and I'm sure VP Nalima will be doing massive follow-up with everyone. But as you're meeting people, think about who you want to hook up with. Have a plan so that when you go back to your own club or federation, you know what's gone on. You're really the beacon of information for your clubs, your friends. Get people involved. We are living in a very strange world right now. And I'm living in a very strange country that I don't even recognize. So we women really have to make sure that we are standing together, that there is unity amongst us, within us. We can change this world. We can, and we must. And for those of you that are coming to the Leaders Summit, if you're not coming this year, I highly recommend, please join us next year. It is the place where you really get to know each other within BPW, where you really get to meet your executive, where you can talk to everyone, where you build relationships with everyone around the world, more so than any other place that you're going to find, because we're an intimate group. We get to talk to each other, work with each other. We do official regional photos, and then we do this massive photo. I'm usually the photographer at the Leader Summit. I don't know how we're going to work that one out this year. We'll see. But please, official photos, be there on time. That's all I have to say. Oh, I didn't give you my WhatsApp. So I don't know that I can put it right here. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not letting me. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's my WhatsApp. If you need anything, if anything, so that's my WhatsApp. If you need anything at all, at any time while you're in New York, please WhatsApp me personally, and I will be back in touch with you. So if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. You can put them in the chat box, or we'll do something after. So thanks for your attention. Come enjoy yourself, learn a lot, enjoy this city, and have some fun. And I can't wait to see you all here. And I'm so glad that all of you came on. And thank you, thank you, VP Nalima, for holding this really, really important session for everyone. I too have learned something while being here, and I've been involved since 2010. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Francesca. So I think we have covered up almost everything. But the next thing is about the regional events. The regional events is just the gathering of BPW members from different regions. And most of the regional coordinator are not here today. But I would suggest that everyone who's coming to New York can get in touch with your regional coordinator, because they are planning a gathering for their region. So it would be nice that, you know, we are part of those conversations that goes during the lunch or the dinner or whatever events that are planning to do. And we already have planned for Asia Pacific. There was a link that was sent out, and you know, you had to register that, and I think it will be sent out once you reach out to maybe Siobhan or, you know, Herlin for the regional for Asia Pacific, North America. The dinner is fixed for 7th. I think Karine is here, and Karine, can you please explain about the dinner, or where they can register, or where they need to meet up, or do you meet up? Because not everybody who goes to Leader Summit goes to CSW, or some people only come to
No.
CSW, so they miss out.
Certainly, we thank you, VP Nalima. We have a WhatsApp group, so if anyone isn't already in the group, please send me a message, and I'll add you to the group so you've got the information. It's going to be held after the Leader Summit is done for the day, probably about 6:30. It's a short walk from the Harmony Club, and so just reach out to me, and I'll add you to the group so you've got all the information. So thank you very much.
Okay, Siobhan, can you give some idea about what's with the Asia Pacific, because Herlin is not here?
Thank you, Nalima. The Asia Pacific attendees to CSW are welcome to please register online, and I've put the link in the chat for dinner after the Leader Summit on Friday the 7th, and also lunch, which will be near our accommodation at the Westgate or near UN on Wednesday the 12th. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't think any other regional coordinators are here. So we...
excuse me, Vice President Nalima, I know what's happening for Europe. So Europe will be having dinner on March 7th following the Leaders Summit session, and RC Anu will be sending out a notice about that. So if you plan to be there, you can also contact her.
Okay, thank you so much, Francesca. I think we can wrap up this slide and go to the next one. The next one is, this is an open forum for everyone, because I know some of us are attending for the first time. Some of us has attended maybe 10 times by now. But, you know, any questions that you have regarding anything, you know, It's open, and whoever is an expert can raise a hand and then answer to those, because I have attended 5 times. Still, I feel like I'm attending it for the first time because it's so much to learn when you go to CSW. So yeah, the floor is open to everyone. Please raise your hand.
Excuse me, Fipina Lima, just for the Young BPW Night Out, just so everyone is well informed. We're going to have 2 night outs actually. So on Sunday, on March 9th, we're going to have a Young BPW Night Out for Young BPWs only. But we are also having a Young BPW Night Out, which is open for everyone, and we have a great amount of people joining us on Monday also, which will be on a Broadway show and followed by drinks later. So if you have any doubts, any questions, please just feel free to contact me.